let. The let declaration declares a block scope local variable, optionally initializing it to a value. And here they give us an example. We have the let declaration local variable name x is gonna be assigned the number 1. We end up with a semicolon here. Outside we have an if statement. So inside of the parentheses we have that this local variable is gonna be equal to the number 1. The local variable x is gonna be equal to the number 1. Inside of the curly braces of the if statement, what we're trying to do is update the local variable. So we have again the let declaration, x is be assigned, the local variable x is gonna be assigned the number 2. So pretty much we're trying to update this number from 1 to 2. Now we're gonna cancel that log, the local variable x, and the expected output is gonna be the number 2. That is for the if statement, for this block. Now outside of the if statement we are gonna cancel that log, the local variable x, and now the expected output, it has to be 1 because we are outside of the if statement. So we are console that logging this local variable, and its value right now here is 1, and we can check it out from right here. We run it. We can also do it from the control developer tool. So we copy it and we go to any tab. We can go here, Control Shift I, and we paste it. So again we have the local variable that is assigned to 1. Here we have the if statement, and we press enter, and there you have it. You have the number 2 is the expected result for the if statement here, and now we have the number 1, that is the expected result for the cancel that log of this local variable here, or the first one. So the syntax is let name1 open brackets equal sign value 1 close brackets open brackets comma name2 open brackets equal sign value 2 close brackets, we close brackets again, open brackets comma ellipses comma name m open brackets equal sign value n close brackets. We have the parameters, the name m, the names of the variable or variables to declare. Each must be a legal JavaScript identifier. We have the value n, that is optional. For each variable declared, you may optionally specify its initial value to any legal JavaScript expression. Alternatively, the destructuring assignment syntax can also be used to declare variables. And here in this example, this creates a variable with the name bar, which has a value of 10. So we have the let, and inside of the curly braces we have bar, and it's gonna be assigned to foo. So what we can do here is pretty much go to the dev tools. We can clean it with Ctrl L or pressing this circle button. Now I have foo. It's gonna be assigned to this object. We have a pair value keys. The bar is the key, and the 10 is the value. Vas is the key, and 12 is the value. So I have that, and now what we are gonna do is we have let open curly braces bar. We are choosing this value here, this key, and we assign it to foo. And now what we do is call bar, and that is gonna get us the value, and the value is gonna be 10. And there you have it. Description. Let allows you to declare variables that are limited to the scope of a block statement or expression in which it is used, unlike the var keyword, which declares a variable globally or locally to an entire function regardless of block scope. The other difference between var and let is that the latter can only be accessed after its declaration is reached. See temporal dead zone or la TDC. For this reason, let declarations are commonly regarded as non-hoisted. Just like const, the let does not create properties of the window object when declared globally in the topmost scope. An explanation of why the name let was chosen can be found here, so you can go to the link. Many issues with let variables can be avoided by declaring them at the top of the scope in which they are used. Doing so may impact readability. Unlike var, let begins declarations, not statements. That means you cannot use a long let declaration as the body of a block, which makes sense since there is no way to access the variable. So here they give us this example, and we can clean it up with Ctrl L. We paste it. If true in parentheses let a be assigned the number 1, we press enter and uncode syntax error. Lexical declaration cannot appear in a single statement context. So here we have examples. Scoping rules. Variables declared by let have their scope in the block for which they are declared, as well as in any contained subblocks. In this way, let works very much like var. The main difference is that the scope of a var variable is the entire enclosing function. So again, the main difference is that the scope of a var variable is the entire enclosing function. Here they give us examples. So here we have a function named var test. Inside of the curly braces we have a var declaration, and we have a variable, a globally scoped variable named x that is going to be assigned the number 1. Now here we have curly braces again, and this globally variable x is going to be assigned the number 2. Pretty much we are trying to update it, so now we cancel that log, the global variable, and the output should be 2. Now outside of the curly braces we cancel that log, this variable, and the expected output should be 2. So we can try it out here in the DevTools. So right now we need to call the function, and to do that we type in var test and we put parentheses. So yeah, we have the cancel.log here is gonna be 2, and the cancel.log here too is gonna be 2. So we did in fact updated it. So we started with the global variable being initialized to the number 1, and then we updated it to number 2. Now here we have another example. We have a function named let test. Inside of the curly braces we have the let declaration. We have this time a local variable, not a global variable. It's a local variable named x. It's assigned the number 1. We ended with a semicolon, and now we have curly braces. We have the let declaration of the local variable x assigned the number 2, so we're trying to update it. Here it says a different variable. Now we're trying to cancel that log, the local variable x. The output should be 2. Okay, we close this curly braces, and now outside of that we cancel that log, the local variable x. In this case, since we are using let, the result should be 1. So we can try this example too. We go here, you press this circle or Ctrl L. Control V. Now if I press enter, nothing's gonna happen. What you have to do is, after this last curly braces, semicolon, and you type in the name of the function. In this case, the name of the function is let test with parentheses at the end. So you press enter, and there you have it. Console.log is gonna be 2 here, and outside of the curly braces, the console.log is gonna be 1. At the top level of programs and functions, let, unlike var, does not create a property on the global object. For example, here you have the var declaration. The global variable x is assigned to this string global, and now the let declaration local variable y is assigned to this string global. So now we're trying to console.log this.x. So in this case, the output would be global, but in the second one, console.log this.y, we're gonna get an undefined, and we can try it out. We go to the DevTools. And now we have var. This is global. Wait a minute. I'm gonna pick it up here. And press enter, and there you have it. So you have global for console.log and the parentheses this.x, but you get undefined for the console.log of the this.y. Redeclarations. Redeclaring the same variable within the same function or block scope raises a syntax error. So for example, okay, I'm gonna copy this example here. I'm gonna clean it up with Control L. I have an if statement. In the parentheses I have this variable x, and the curly braces let foo semicolon, and then let foo semicolon. So press enter. Uncode syntax error. Identifier foo has already been declared. Okay. You may encounter errors in switch statements because there is only one block of the let declaration. We have the local variable name x is going to be assigned the number 1. We end up with a semicolon, and now we have the switch statement. In the parentheses we have this local variable x, and the curly braces we're going to have two cases, case 0 and case 1. Case 0 colon let foo, so you have again a let declaration semicolon and then break semicolon. Okay, now we have the case 1 colon the let declaration foo, and here is where it's gonna throw us the error, the syntax error for redeclaration, semicolon break semicolon. So if we go to the developer tools, let me see. If we go to the developer tools, it's gonna throw us an error. Uncode syntax error. Identifier foo has already been declared. Okay. However, it's important to point out that a block nested inside a case clause will create a new block. However, it's important to point out that a block nested inside a case clause will create a new block scoped lexical environment, which will not produce the redeclaration errors shown above. So here we have another example, and we can go here to the dev tools. Let me see. So we have that let declaration. We have the local variable x is assigned to the number 1 semicolon. Now we have the switch statement. Inside of the parentheses we have the local variable x, and the curly braces we have case 0 and case 1. Case 0 colon and open curly braces let foo. So we have the let declaration foo semicolon, and now we have break semicolon. We close the curly braces of the case 0, and now we open the case 1 colon, open curly braces, and now we have the let foo, and we have the break semicolon, and then we close the curly braces of the case 1, and we close the curly braces of the switch statement. And now it says identifier X has already been declared. So if we go here and shift and we paste it undefined, okay, so here we have the, again, we have the let declaration. Here we have the let declaration X is assigned the number 1. Outside of that we have the switch statement. Inside of the parentheses we have the local variable X, open the curly braces, and we have the case 0 and the case 1. Inside of the case 0 we have the let foo, we have the let declaration foo, semicolon, break semicolon, and case 1 we have the let declaration foo, semicolon, and break semicolon. So now at the end we just semicolon and X, the result is gonna get 1.